party.
I totally missed. 1 year on YouTube. What does that mean? What does it look like? And what did we accomplish? That's what we're going to be talking about today. And this is where the intro is.
Da 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 da. Da da.
Just going to play that.
Yeah.
1 year on YouTube. Pretty funny how that works out.
Yeah.
It all started with you finding a used GoPro.
Yeah.
And I just decided to take a look at what it takes to start an account on YouTube, which is hilariously easy.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? What did I shoot? Like an introduction to my bike or something. I was so bad at it too.
Oh, you sounded so Canadian.
Yeah, I don't know if I was trying to exaggerate or I was uncomfortable hearing myself is what it really was. Because our first video is actually, it's like the third take of doing that exact same thing. And I kept watching it and I never really heard myself on camera before. And it was the worst thing I'd ever gone through. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I redid it. I did it exactly the same, but I still just hated myself, like hearing my own voice through camera. I didn't know that's what I sounded like.
Yeah.
So I just kept redoing it, but it was the same thing. It was like insanity. But yeah, so if you want a good laugh, go find our first video. But so yeah, it started off with a used GoPro that you found. It was a GoPro 4 Hero 4 Silver.
Yeah.
And then I just started making a video, and I had fun, and then. Yeah, it just started off like that as just a silly thing.
It was so awkward. I not rolled my, I don't know, my words were a lot longer. I spoke really awkwardly as well. I articulated in a weird way. But
it's weird being on camera and then watching yourself because you're your own worst judge. Is what it really is.
Kyle's my worst judge. No, I'm kidding.
But we had a lot of interesting ideas and we wanted to do some stuff, and we ended up getting a hold of the UTV club shortly after, like, hey, we're really interested in doing this. We only had my bike at the time and Cass was on the upseat.
The dark days.
Yeah, and that's why we bought the long frame, was for the upseat so Cass could be on it. And
6 months later,
with the club, yeah, we just started riding and checking out what our area has to offer. Turns out we live in an amazing place to ATV. And then lo and behold, we go mudding one day and a friend of mine had a spare bike, which we also have a video of. And Cass has never really ridden a 4x4. She drove my quad a little bit, but she never got to experience riding on her own. And when she borrowed a little Honda 350, like, she literally...
Foot shift, no power steering.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if you're going to like this.
You were done that day and you're like, we're going to buy a bike.
Yeah.
And all I asked was that you didn't buy a second Can-Am because I just can't afford that much in belts and stuff like that. So yeah, lo and behold, she picks a Yamaha, which was probably the best choice.
Yeah. I think Diesel sees the neighbor's dog. But
so yeah, I think we started off filming events. So there's a lot of organized events here, like Ride for Dad, which is in a lot of areas. We had the Robbie Dean Center. We did a fundraiser for. What else was there? Carl LaRock, their family.
Those are all the fundraisers, but there was also Opiongo Trail Fest, Bioana Winter Bus. Those are camp out weekends.
Yeah, those
really
are
different.
the RCATV planned events. And Diesel's ruining my camera. Hey.
You're so lovey.
So we had a lot of those going on. And yeah, we just started filming those, and I made a couple of videos out of it, and Cass really wanted to get involved, and it just kind of snowballed into this thing. And then, like, all of a sudden we found ourselves being YouTubers, I guess.
Yeah, it's still weird to consider.
Yeah, I don't like. The hardest thing after hearing your own voice is probably the word influencer or YouTuber or hey, your fans. I hate hearing those things.
It's easier to say like, oh, we do the YouTube or we have a YouTube channel, but as soon as you like label yourself as a YouTuber,
yeah, like that's what I do. Or
at
whatever.
what point are you allowed to wear that label?
I don't know.
So a year later, we kind of.
I don't know, maybe.
Well,
I mean, we have a schedule and we're pretty dedicated to it, so I think there should just be a better name for it. Like, yeah, we do a thing on the internet and just kind of nonchalant, whatever.
But I don't know. It's like, oh, we're YouTubers, like.
And once we really got the ball rolling on that, we kind of started thinking like, hey, like we really enjoy doing this, and I like where it's headed. So we kind of imagined like, where would we be a year from now? Like, oh, and Cass was like, well, maybe we could hit that 1,000 subscribers because you need 1,000 subscribers and so many watch minutes of time spent to actually start making money on YouTube. So we set that as our goal for our first year, and it did end up taking us 7.5 months to do that. But in those last few months, those 4.5 months up to today, the 18th, which is when this is going to be uploaded, we're sitting at like over 4,500 or something like that. So we're very fortunate. It's nice passing your goal. So we're just going to set like really small goals. And then that way we meet them. So I hope by next year we have 4,600 subscribers. And I think one of the cooler things that we've had the chance to do is meet other YouTubers. So like before doing our own videos, I've always watched, like years and years ago, I started watching Osta Cruiser. I mean, that's pretty well a household name when it comes to ATVing. I watched him, still do. And then, you know, I was watching ATV and NOS ATVs, Elemental. There's tons and tons. And we've actually met a good chunk of those people now, and done rides with all of those. So like that was a really cool thing to go from like watching these guys and liking what they're doing, and here we are kind of making our own little footprint on the whole deal. So I mean, riding with those people was great.
Yeah, it was I try to play it cool, but inside I'm like, watch you on the TV. But
it's easy to find a few of them, like Job from ATV. I literally heard his laugh before seeing him, and I knew he was there.
Now just hit it a little harder.
I think that was Johnstown.
Yeah.
I had a good laugh at that. And that's where we met Dirty Life, actually.
Yeah. That's
so
influenced the way we approach this whole thing in a big way.
Yeah.
It's allowed us to do stuff that we didn't plan on doing for years.
I don't think these bikes would be anywhere near where they are without Dirty Life. I mean, Trevor and Linda, they're just wild. And what's really cool about that is we started off building like a business relationship with them, and it ended up being that they're just awesome people on top of that. So we ended up being great friends. So really excited. So that's what I mean about meeting someone, and you meet more people, and you meet people on the trails.
Online.
And then you experience the first time like, oh, hey man, I'm Kyle and I'm Cass. And then that person will go, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, we do put our lives on YouTube, so.
Some other people we've worked with, Valley Adventure Tours. We've gotten out with him a couple times, and we'll be seeing him in the future too.
Yeah, so we met him through RCATV, the club.
Yeah.
So yeah, he rents machines and he gives you a tour of some of the better parts of this area of Renfrew County. And that was another fantastic scenario. We brought your mom side by side in. Yeah.
That was a good time.
And she loved it. So that was just cool. So it's like people are sharing with us and we're sharing with other people, and it ends up being this long, crazy, cool story.
Lots of opportunities for sure.
We got to work with a lot of people. We already mentioned Dirty Life, and I'm not going to pat him on the back too much there.
Yeah.
Amazing people, Dirty Life.
Speaks for itself.
I hope we work with them forever and ever. I don't care if it's, money or free stuff. Like working with those guys, I don't know. You hear stories and everyone's sharing knowledge and how this worked out. All the nerdy side of mudding, like this clutch versus that clutch, and so he's like the center of all that.
It's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, because he hears everyone's problems. He provides solutions for those people. So I just get this awesome kickback of all of this knowledge. So I let everyone else make mistakes, and then I try not to make my own. I've made a few, but Gator Waders, they were another one.
Yeah.
So we got to talking with them, and they really liked what we were doing. So they're like, hey, why don't you try some of this stuff out? They were great to talk to also, because like they're not just like, hey, promote my product. They wanted to know our feedback, how things change in Canada, the cold, feedback as far as like what we might want from our waders. How we can improve them and stuff like that. So they're listening to all these people in the community. So they're great to talk to also. We also did...
BF clutching, tied up paracord.
Oh yeah. So tied up paracord, Tony, he's another great guy. He's actually from my area. So I got to talking to him. We were at Tim Hortons, and he was telling me about all these little products he's coming up with. And he's just another guy like the rest of us who wanted to create something, and he had an idea and he made it. And well, they're actually all off the bikes right now. I had to wash them, but he makes a product, and so another great guy we got to talk to. Who else was there? Oh, BF Clutching.
Yeah,
so,
Brian.
A strange thing. Growing up, I knew this guy, and I move away. I do my own thing, and years later, I find out like he's a guru with Grizzly and Kodiak clutches. So
it's like the godfather of clutches.
Yeah, he's literally a dude in a basement who took the time to figure out this magical little recipe and mills out stock clutches and does all this crazy stuff. And
shims and weights.
Yeah, and he just doing something his own way. And so he's an acquaintance of mine through a friend of a friend from years ago, and we got to touch base, and Cass wanted improvements in her bike, so we got to do that too.
So it's fun working with people too, not just like companies. Like you're meeting these people, and you kind of get the feeling, you get to find out like where they had their start and where they came from. And it's cool kind of making history with some of these people, not just the businesses. Like Dirty Life, he took a lot of big steps recently, and like it's fun being part of those steps, and but also like other YouTubers that are piercing into the market and making their own channels. So we're all kind of talking to each other, and it's a great online community, in person riding community, club community. It's
all been really positive. I find the internet can be just an absolute cesspool, but our experience has been pretty good. I mean, we're still itty bitty sand in the beach, like we're nothing in the internet.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
No. We're just a little pebble, but still, we still have comments and everything, and lots of private messages, and people want to talk, and everything's been really positive.
Cool. It's so cool talking with people. And one thing that we didn't really realize was, when people kind of address the fact that we've answered them, like, oh, thank you for taking the time, or I don't know if you're going to get this, but, and it's cool to have, well, not it's cool, but we seem to have given the illusion that we're still people, and
don't worry, we're just regular people.
It's endearing.
We just have a camera, and we do stuff. We're not celebrities or whatever. We really went into this trying to be just us. Like that's
share it with people.
I mean, I don't care for people who pretend to be super happy and perfect. Like, we're far from it, and so be it. Like, you can see it in our videos. Like, I try to be a little serious, trying to put these ideas together, and Cass just like is always Cass.
All over.
Yeah. So be it. And you know what? Like, honestly, I'll be like, oh, Cass, you're giving me a hard time, and then everybody in the comment section will be like, leave her alone. Okay, all right. Obviously,
people stand behind me.
Yeah. So. So
cool.
I'm obviously wrong, and so be it. So we'll just be ourselves.
Sorry, one more time?
No, it's on camera. You can just repeat it.
I will.
Yeah,
it's my new ringtone.
I'm just going to check my thing here because there's a lot to talk about. We had a lot more to do with our CATV. We do lots of trail maintenance and stuff like that. we volunteer a lot of our time. It kind of works out because we can do videos too at the same time, but we volunteer because Renfrew County is really trying to push expanding the trails and signage and keeping trees off the trails. There's a lot of clubs out there doing a lot of work, and RCATV is just trying to push it just ever so farther, and we like being part of that.
Making legislative changes to
there's I just cut trees and stuff, but like Teresa and Steve, the current president and vice president, they're like,
well, some of the laws didn't account for side-by-sides, for example. So like the width of the gates along the trails that prevent vehicles from going through, like they need to be wide enough for a side-by-side to go through now, which was less common previously. And then getting those
the
expanding,
legislation
working with
was
the
like
cities.
mid 2000s and never accounted for where the market was going. And obviously the market for side-by-sides is insane.
So people think clubs and like, oh, you don't need a pass or this, that, but it's more than just like selling passes. Like,
yeah, agree or disagree all you want about that. Like, there's so much more to a club than passes and money and stuff like that. If you look at what they do, it's huge. Like,
well, we've had local laws amended to account for side-by-sides riding on the roads, for example.
So we were involved in a lot of cool stuff. Like, they even brought us to Toronto.
Yeah. Power sports show.
They called us up and like, pack up your bike. Like, we're going to Toronto and your bike's going to be in the showcase, and we helped them show off
local showcases.
Yeah, we showed everybody the trails. It was really cool having my bike in Toronto
in a
warehouse, like downtown by the airport. I don't know if that's their downtown. My idea of downtown is very different.
We were in Mississauga.
Was it Mississauga?
Yeah.
I don't know. By the airport thing.
Yeah.
The Pearson one.
GTA.
Yeah. Where all the buildings are tall enough. Anyway.
Next question.
So, you know what? With the club too, we had the chance to work with the OPP. Mm-hmm. And
Mo.
Yeah, Mo. So, really funny story. Mo is an OPP officer. He's a fantastic guy. And we actually ran into him the first time was in Johnstown. Mm-hmm. And we're like, he was really great.
Gave a ticket to one of our buddies.
Yeah, well, one of our buddies forgot to do up his strap. Helmets are really, they're a big law here in Canada. I watch American videos all the time.
Oh my gosh,
like,
stresses me out.
Drinking beer, no helmet, and that's all cool. But we like wearing our helmets here.
Yeah.
I don't have the prettiest face as it is, and I'd like to at least keep it, we met him there, and he was talking to us, and he was great, and he was super fair. He's not out there to get blood or anything like that. So we ended up talking with him, and he was great. And then we saw him
here, RCATV.
Oh,
not the
Griffith.
Right?
It was Griffith.
Was it?
Yeah.
Or was it Opeongo?
Griffith Highlands. We saw him the second time, and we stopped at a regular stop. He was just checking for stuff. Let us go right through. Didn't stop our whole ride because we were like 40, 50 bikes or something. Yeah. And it was really quick. Yeah, right on, cool, right on. And letting people through. And I had to laugh because I'm pointing at Cass. I'm like, that's Mo from the last ride. Wasn't long after.
Yeah, we didn't know his name yet. But then one day, Bobby, we yell at him a lot. Yeah. He said, hey, I got to go out and do some trail.
Oh, it was the warden program.
Yeah, so he said, yeah, we have to go out and do OPP with him. And Kyle and I are getting it was a cold day. Oh my God, it was cold.
Yeah.
And we're getting our stuff ready and gearing up and stuff. And he goes, wouldn't it be funny if, and no word of a lie, Mo comes around the corner. Yeah. And we're like, hey, we have to get your name, buddy.
Like, you got to imagine, like, running into the cop 3 times is like, haha. But if you think, so if he's doing ATV and snowmobile enforcement and stuff like that, the 3 areas where we saw him are not close together.
And they're big.
Like, we're talking hours apart. And this guy's just patrolling all of it.
Yeah.
He was great too. And we just went out and made sure, because it was hunting season and everybody was, a few of these and guns and whatever. But he was super cool, really great guy to work with. So that was another opportunity we had with the club. And we learned a lot. I think we even, we found an abandoned car and it was crazy. But there's a video for that. I'll link them all down below. I'm sure I will. But we've had a crazy year. I mean, like as of recording this video, which is only a few days before the April 18th release, our actual 1 year anniversary.
13th today, yeah.
We're at like, what do we got? 4,500 subs, 615,000 views, 108 videos. 108 videos. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about that number necessarily. Just think about, I don't know how many
Those
people
videos are
edited.
like 20 minutes-ish, 10, 20 minutes of...
Hours of footage each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
That's crazy to think what you can do in a year.
Yeah.
But the editing time, you know, if they just took 1
That's
hour
all
a
you
piece,
do.
which they don't take an hour a piece, especially when you're learning like I did, like go take a look at my first couple of videos. Okay. All right. Pretty bad.
We didn't even know who we were then. It was like Mainville, ATV, and outdoors. So that was our catch-all for like,
Yeah,
what did you do
we
with other
started
roles?
adding cameras and we started swapping audio and doing this stuff, and we're all learning as we're going along. So like, I really took a job, and like, I really spent some time in the basement there. But 108 videos is insane to me, and that's a lot for considering like half the year we weren't even taking it seriously. We were just posting willy-nilly.
Yeah, and the other half of the year we had snow.
Yeah.
October,
We're
November,
literally at
December,
7
January,
months of snow
February,
right now, by the
April.
way.
Yeah, 7 months.
But yeah,
And it's snowing outside right now. Like,
we also have the Facebook page and the Facebook group. The group is where everyone talks and chit chats and fixes problems and
Instagram.
sticker giveaways and stuff.
I get home at night from work, so I can't have my phone where I work. And so I don't get any notifications until I leave. Usually my phone's in my purse and it just explodes I don't even check it until I get home now.
Yeah, I get to handle it like over time, but Cass she walks in the house and the Wi-Fi kicks on and doodloop, doodloop, doodloop,
Oh my
doodloop.
God.
It's crazy. Yeah, so we're like, we've got like 600 and something members already in the group, and it's awesome. Like, people really, and again, it brings back to the community thing. Like, everyone, when they have the same interest in something, it's really, really positive. Really, really positive. So that's cool. And it's really fun to see, you know, our own group kind of just happening. Like, we don't even have to be involved anymore. When we were first starting out, we were like,
Trying to answer everyone.
yeah, someone talk to me, you know, like now we're like struggling to try and talk to everyone. We are trying, but eventually it's just going to run away from us, I think.
Well, I think we're at that point now where like, we'll see someone post a question and we'll not have had the opportunity to get back to them. And when we do go to answer, someone else has already answered on our behalf. So it's pretty cool to see like people looking out for each other.
Yeah, because like as soon as I see that, I'm like, yes, I don't have to think about something for one split second, and then I go to the next comment. And I'm like, okay, I got this one.
Because everyone's mods are so unique. As soon as you throw on a different tire or a different width or a different clutch or a different like.
I try to
just so
share
many
what
factors.
I know, and Cass is actually, considering you started riding months after I even got this bike. I've been riding my whole life.
Yeah.
But
10 months.
it's getting to the point now where I see Cass answering technical, mechanical questions, and she's handling it like a pro. So I think in due time there, I think we're gonna have another.
I've been riding for 10 months. It's been snowing for 7. Huh.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. It's actually snowing right now on April 14th or whatever 13th. It is.
Yeah.
I know it's April 14th because Game of Thrones comes out tonight.
Oh my god, now I'm lost.
Yeah.
Shit. I was wrong.
Where were we? Oh, and Instagram. We have that too.
That.
Do we?
I did.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Selective hearing, honey.
I know.
You're on my good ear too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's that. What she said. Community.
I think that horse is dead.
No, like so I'm looking at a whiteboard. It's way in the back over there, and we wrote down everything, talking about the general idea. We can't talk about everything, but because a lot happens in a year. But one thing I did want to stress was like the community. We talked about online, but through the club. So people we would have never met. So the reason why we're living where we're living is because we're tied to a certain occupation, and we typically, for the longest time, only met people from that same circle. So when we started ATVing and, met with the club and people online and meeting people on the trails, it kind of Like we wouldn't have met Bobby, for example.
Oh my God, no.
No, and that guy is like he is charisma.
Yeah.
Like that dude is wicked. So
We've moved half a dozen times in the last few years alone.
yeah.
And never really got to know our neighbors, let alone the community, let alone the cashier's name at the grocery store.
And we live in a sweet spot. Like we got ATVers and sledders one way and sledheads the other. Like this street at night is just a symphony of different kind of exhausts and 2-stroke, 4-stroke. Like
Monocassette.
yeah, and there's like straight pipe trucks and stuff. Like this is where I want to live for the rest of my life, even though we're probably gonna move eventually. But luckily that doesn't affect you guys because we're just gonna make videos wherever.
Like I was saying, like the ATV community really helped ground us for while we are here and get to know everyone that we wouldn't have met. So it's been cool. I thought you were talking next. About your bike?
No,
Or are we gonna start with mine?
Yeah.
Cool.
Long ago, you started riding and you got your own bike. Your turn.
After I made you buy the long frame, which I still feel really bad for.
Don't worry, I'll upgrade.
I know. That's why I feel really
One day.
Okay, so one day I decided riding on the 2-up was over for me. Sorry, the dog's just staring at us through the window. The day we decided to buy a quad, sorry, can we restart this?
What are we gonna do with him?
He's done now.
No, he isn't. He's never done.
So, when I decided to get a quad, I knew I had a really good idea that I didn't want a Can-Am. And at the time, it's because whenever I rode Kyle's, it's a large machine. And
Yeah.
I got throttle thumb really easy because, I don't know, they
You
have
got
different
dainty little piano fingers.
little thumbs. So, like, that was a big deal for me. And I didn't need a 1000. I just didn't see myself needing that. And being a small statured rider, I love that.
That's a real thing from Yamaha, by the way.
Yeah.
Kodiaks are designed for small statured.
Right, yeah. So falling under that category, flatteringly of course, I tried out the Kodiak and loved it. I tried sitting on a couple Hondas. I tried the 570s, the 650s, but it's all pretty much...
450 Outlander you tried.
Yeah. But they're all the same chassis, pretty much. So, ironically enough, now that I have all my mods done on my bike, they're pretty much the same size. Just mine's still very much lighter. So yeah, I knew I wanted something comfortable to ride, and something that I would be able to manage in the mud. So, got the Yamaha. I was very happy with it. But I knew right away I needed to snorkel and rad relocate. So we did that so that I wouldn't be limited as to water crossings and stuff. We had a ride coming up the weekend after we picked it up that we knew had 3 or 4 water crossings. That was the Canada Day mud ride that we do every year in Sudbury.
In Sudbury, yeah.
Yeah. So we knew that run very well. Like we had done it countless times before. So we got it ready for water. That was the very first step. When we
actually ordered all that stuff before you even bought the bike.
Yeah.
But it didn't show up in time, so we still had to do the run anyway.
Exactly. So it just took our time. We were careful. So those are the first things we did. When Kyle brought in my bike to get its first servicing done as well, there was a pile of tires. There were some mud lights, 25-inch. So at the time, that's what I wanted. A good trail mud tire hybrid that I'd be able to keep up on. And at the time, I didn't want to get into doing any of the clutching. I wasn't sure just how involved I was going to be in that style of riding. So
I like how you decided that. Like you wanted to go with like modest tires and not get into clutching. And then months later, we did exactly that.
Yeah, we got 30-inch tires.
You got the fever quick and bad.
Yeah. It's like the man cold version of...
No, you can't get man colds.
Oh, yeah.
Those are
lethal for women, I hear.
No, women can't get them.
Oh, but if we did, it would be lethal.
Well, yeah, so man colds they're real. They're
real thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we ended up, let me take a look here. Spacers, lift kit, tires, clutch, primary and secondary. And then a couple other things, so.
Yeah, you wanted LEDs and stuff. You wanted the bike to be blackout.
Yes, that was important.
black is the easiest thing to do when it comes to quads. So like that wasn't a big deal. But what you wanted was to have color, but you can't choose things. Like bring this girl to like a fast food place.
We can't go through the drive-through. It freaks me out.
No one has enough time for that. So what she wanted was like a splash of color, but she still wanted blackout. So we got RGB LEDs in the Rad Relocate, and we made that happen. It's on a wireless remote. So
for you lady viewers out there, it's the equivalent of having that little black dress that it's reliable. You know, you can accessorize with the right shoes, the right purse.
I hate to break it to you, but 97.2% of our viewership won't understand.
And I'm not talking to them right now. This is me and the ladies.
Yeah, this is for the 2.7.
But it's the little black dress of ATVs, man. Like you dress it. I got different jackets, different helmets. So the blackout was important to me, and Yamaha could provide that.
Yeah.
It's such a chick thing to wear the color, but that blackout looks
It's not really.
sweet.
Like the color thing is pretty big when it comes to ATVers and men
That's
too.
true.
Like I wouldn't put yellow on my bike. You wouldn't make it.
Who buys a yellow quad?
Yeah. God.
Scott's gonna watch this just based off. Sorry, Scott. But no, for real, it's I'm really, really happy.
You keep looking at it like it's gonna disappear. It's
Well,
not
I
going
just love
anywhere.
it so much.
It's not gonna drive away without
I
you.
look at you and I talk about you. Ooh, awkward on-screen love. Is there chemistry or is it actually?
You're not gonna let me edit that out too.
It's not in my hands. But yeah, no, I love it. Highly recommended. And we would have never, honestly, been able to do half of this without the community and sponsors.
Yeah, when you were
Honestly.
looking for information on what you wanted, luckily, obviously, a lot of people have built Kodiaks and Grizzlies and stuff. So when we did our research, we found everybody's mistakes and then
Learned from that.
immediately tried to do the better thing.
And we've had our own mistakes too that
Oh,
people
on my
can learn
bike
from.
for sure. Yeah.
So
So yeah, like your bike, honestly, how it sits now. At first, I would never ride it. When you first got it, I hated it.
oh.
I could roll the thing by leaning the wrong way. Like
Yeah.
it's way too small for me. But after the lift, after the tires, after
It's like the
all
same
the
height
stuff.
as yours now.
And then
almost.
what really did it was the clutch work by BF Clutching. When you did that, it's honestly so good. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. It's so good that I'm considering in the future doing a Grizzly build. I'm not joking. Like you need to, you're gonna see it in the future.
This is the first I hear of this, and I'm really
I
excited.
told you the day we did it.
What?
Like it lights those 30s up, like a single
I
monopiston.
wasn't listening.
It's
then.
so angry. It's just one piston like furiously trying to escape the motor. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
Oh.
But it's a good bike. It's a really good bike. And what I really like about it is when you go to maintain it, like it's just there. Everything's good. Like this thing, everyone knows you want to go change the fluid on the transmission or the gearbox. What a pain in the ass. So like her bike, everything's just like nicely exposed, or you take a little chunk of plastic off. That's it. Like everything's really easy. It takes 4 tools, okay? And I know this. It takes 4 tools to disassemble that entire bike. 4 sizes.
10 mil.
That's it.
14.
It's such a joke. And this thing, like you need Torx and Allens and all sorts of variety sizes. Some of the bolts make you question if it's even metric anymore. Like
So we have our numbers goals, obviously, like online and everything that we set for ourselves. Our milestones, we'll call them. But this year, my goal, water wheelie.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Cass, as quick of a learner as she is, and what I really like about her, and yeah, it's a weird saying.
I won't
She's
listen.
right there. Yeah.
I won't listen.
Shh. Is that when someone says like, "Oh, you'll never make it through that mud hole" or whatever, like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
even if she won't, she has to. Like, well, geez, like that. What was it? Griffith? It was Griffith Run, and everyone's
Oh, I
like,
got
"Oh, no one will
pissed.
make it through that hole," and I just laughed through it. And you actually failed the first time, but you were
The
adamant.
first like 7 times,
Adamant,
Kyle got there
adamant.
like late, and yeah, I
Yeah,
failed a lot.
and eventually you did make it through it. So like that's when I knew if she said, "I want 30-inch tires, I want this and that," I'm like, okay, yeah, like, because before that I would have thought like, nah, it's not worth
I
it.
was still half cock riding by then.
Do you want to explain what half cock riding is?
So I don't even know where I got this from. I used to dirt bike when I was a little kid. on like homemade 50cc lawnmower motor.
Yeah, and you still ride a
pit
motorcycle.
bike.
It's over there.
And I have my motorcycle, so I don't know if that's the style of riding that I was trying to introduce.
To ATVing.
We'll show a clip, but like
I don't even
half-cock
know
riding.
if I have one anymore. I made fun of you right away.
I know where there's a couple, and recent too. I did it in Costa Rica.
Okay.
So it's like.
It's when you're not sitting
And you're not standing. Like a jockey, like a horse jockey.
She's like over prepared looking is what it looks like. She's just like, I don't know. It's such the first time I saw it, I died laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like, Cass, what is that? She goes,
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So I still have some learning to do, and I figured like I would never wheelie on my motorcycle. Like that's just asking for trouble, and I've seen it go wrong countless times in riding groups. So I figure ATV, 4 wheels, like you still have 2 wheels on the ground, learning in the water. Like what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
What's the worst that fast forward to like me just.
Well, your bike's capable of it now. We didn't get to do it when we first got your clutch done, but the other day we were out riding on the road and I definitely got it. I just didn't want to overdo it, but now I know the sweet spot, so she's gonna figure that out too. But
we got to the neighbors and he says, "Can I ride it back?"
Yeah.
So I got to try it out.
To think a 700, it's got like 33 horsepower to the tires, and it's on 30s, and it can wheelie.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
I love it.
I don't get to wheelie very much. Like I have to do it basically semi-assisted or with lots of grip because I have the long frame Outlander. It has plenty of power to do it, but it's such a long frame that like I only get to do it in water or like if I have a little route to start it up or whatever. So like that's why I really love her machine. It's tiny, and that's why next build there, I'm hoping Gen 3 happens one day, but I'm gonna do a short frame 1000 or something. It'll be really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you getting to water wheelie and learn how to do that, that's going to be something. I'm really nervous about letting you do that. So we're going to find like a real safe place to do it, I think, at first. So yeah, because I'm the one who has to fix it. That's mostly why I'm nervous. I'm not even worried about you getting hurt. Like you're just going to splash in water and like call it a day.
Giggle a bit.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, your bike overall is the most satisfying build we've done so far.
Well, it's such a drastic change from beginning to end. Like
yeah, it was such a silly, like the tires that came on it when you first got it, they might as well have been like radials, like slicks, drag racing slicks. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. As far as that quad goes, like I don't even know what else you'd want to do. Oh, you want to do some bumpers.
Rear bumpers, skid plates.
Skid plates.
Yeah. I have a few things.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, send me your list. We'll make it happen.
Yep.
But yeah, and then, well, this bike, I mean, you guys have seen a lot of the mod videos. Okay, I'm not going to specifically talk about every upgrade on my quad because there's a lot of little ones. But a lot of people ask me, what is the best bang for your buck? What are the first few things that you would do to your Outlander? And it's really, really simple. The first thing I would do is fuel tune it. I don't care if you do it by ECU, if you go with Dobeck, if you go with Bomb Racing or whoever, I don't care. Do that. Fuel tune first. If you care about your bike's longevity in the long run, you care about its performance, that's the best thing you can do. After that, you can start having some fun. I would start doing like slip-on pipes. 2 of my favorites so far are Yoshi's and RJWC. But that's mostly because of like the quality of stainless and billet aluminum and stuff like that. The Yoshi and the RJWC are the 2 that I've loved the most so far. There's some other pipes out there that are absolutely wild.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on seeing some of those too in the future. But yeah, then I would, so the pipe, and I think the most drastic next step is the primary clutch. So I went from the stock clutch. The Can-Ams have a problem where it's a split clutch, so only half of it really grabs right away. It's not good, especially when you're dealing with 1000cc. So I upgraded to a QSC, which when I pulled that thing out of the box, it's so light. That was the most aggressive change, a lot like her bike, where the clutching was just everything. So that's where I would start. And then if for the more advanced people, more willing to, get rid of whatever warranty Can-Am did give you, which is like nothing anyway. ECU flash, that was crazy. That was one of the most ridiculous things that we did, because we did like timing advance and we got rid of limiters, and it revs so high. Yeah, that was probably next to the primary clutch, one of the best upgrades I did.
One of the first ones you did was the belt to the Maverick.
Oh yeah, the stock Outlander belt was not enough for me. And a lot of people who buy these bikes, like there's a very few that just trail ride. Like nobody buys a 1000 XMR and just, goes get mail or something. So just,
Does their taxes
or whatever. I don't know. You typically are looking for the sport and trouble and all that stuff. So yeah, just there's a lot. But we're gonna get more to that. I'm looking at my bike now, like Cass did, and I made fun of her.
With admiration.
There was a lot. And just be careful with your modifications, because one little mod can now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. Now I got to do this. Like, oh my God, where did I go? And that's what I meant earlier about mistakes that I've made on my machine, where I wanted to go bigger and gnarlier and whatever, when I should have just listened to everybody and done something a certain way. It was basically my tire size. It was a landslide of like mod after mod. Mm-hmm. But that's where Dirty Life really came in swinging, helping me out and all that stuff. So
originally you wanted tracks.
I still want tracks, but
Trevor talked you out of it.
Thanks,
Trevor.
Trevor, the salesman that he is.
It took me months.
Why would you get tracks when you can have all of this? And I'm like, yeah, all right, okay, yeah. So I think down the road, whatever build we end up doing, we're gonna try and do some tracks, because we've had winter for 7 months.
Yeah.
400 and something centimeters of snow. Like, think about that, 4 meters. I don't know.
That's gross.
What is that? 3.3 feet a meter.
It's 300.
Trying to figure out the freedom numbers. There's a lot of eagles in a meter, is all I'm saying.
There's 3 feet in a meter ish.
There's like 17 eagles a meter, so. So we're gonna get more into that another day. We're just kind of finalizing some ride time, and then we're just gonna do the final review on our bikes and be done with it. Yeah. Just to make sure everybody knows pros and cons to everything, because, well, actually Cass's bike is close to perfect, but my bike, there's cons, and I don't care. Like, I'll tell you guys what's wrong with it, what's hard with it, difficulties I've had.
And diffs haven't been one of them so far. We've heard a lot of
people are like, yeah, diffs, axles, brake pads, they're all going to blow out. Yeah, don't get me wrong, one day those will blow out, but the time frame that I was given by everybody.
And the brakes too.
My brakes are still like 75-80%.
So it's different for everyone, but
I have 1,800 kilometers on this bike, and there's people saying like, oh yeah, 200 kilometers, my brake pads were written off. I don't know how. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe I got like a really good Wednesday morning bike or something instead of like a Friday afternoon.
2 cups of coffee that day.
I don't know, but the axles on this bike are fantastic. I do worry about my diff. It feels like the weakest link, because like the XMR 2018 axles are robust as shit. Like, they are super, super good.
And then the 2019, the diffs
so
are solid.
Moving on to Project Minion over here, that's Scott's bike. He's going to be riding with us all this year.
Yeah.
What they did was, because the axles were so good on this bike and they were blowing diffs, for 2019, they made the diffs really strong and then weakened the axles. Now, that's not actually the worst plan when you think about it, because axles are really easy to change. They're significantly cheaper. You're not sending out for a diff from all these aftermarket companies and stuff like that. You can spend weeks doing that.
If you lose an axle,
you might wait like 3 days. Yeah, and you're right. You blow an axle or whatever, you can still just kind of pop it out or let it spin like crazy and still get home.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's our newest addition, which you've probably seen enough of lately. That's Scott's bike. Yeah, so we have Mama Bear and Mischief and Minion. We also have plans for a fourth member that's kind of already been here. So if you've been watching enough, you definitely know who that is. And it's a bit of a misfit vehicle for this lineup.
Yeah.
So
There's some phone calls to make.
yeah. So
yeah, exciting things coming up this year. Lots of exciting
I think
things.
this bike has 2 kilometers on it.
If that.
So
the poor guy,
yeah.
he bought it 2 months ago, and the weather has just not been cooperating at all. Like
he bought it outright, it's his, and he had it in the garage, and we started coming up with things like we did the light bar, we put a Yoshimura on it.
Yeah.
Like easy stuff
Yeah.
that obviously comes with XMRs and mud straps
We
and
tried
foot
some
pegs and
LEDs,
whatever.
didn't work out.
We did try LEDs.
I
Those
talked to
sucked.
someone at work. Sorry to kind of.
Oh, how's your day?
Yeah, great. I talked to someone at work about those LEDs with the fans, and he
Yeah.
said he tried the ones with the fans, and it gucked up with mud, and it caught on fire, and he needed to replace all those plastics from that side.
Right on.
So Scott's cautiousness of not wanting to have to deal with like overheating and melting wires or something,
Well,
it was completely founded, and I forgot to tell you that. So don't install
we figured as much.
lights with fans.
We figured
But,
as much. It doesn't make
confirmed.
any sense.
Yeah,
But
confirmed.
they do make LED kits that don't have fans, and they just have like high quality heat sinks. I feel like I'm interviewing you.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah. So those are the bikes for the year. We have a fourth person in mind, just to kind of bring a bigger dynamic to the team. We have a lot more fun with more people, instead. But it doesn't mean we won't do rides just her and I or solo or whatever. But yeah, we just have a lot of fun projects planned. This year, the biggest changes are we have 4 GoPros now, 2 GoPro 4s, 2 7 Blacks.
We've got the drone.
The Mavic 2 Pro drone with 4 batteries, so I can get as much footage as possible. We've got our toolbox for events ready to go.
Stickers.
Yeah, we got some sweet stickers, which have been really popular, and I'm not going to lie.
And people are just itching for shirts, and we've tried multiple
Oh
different
my God,
companies. And the problem is, our biggest problem, and if someone can help us out here, is if we get them done locally, they're cheap, but then shipping them is the same cost as the shirt, so it'd be $40-$50. If we go through a
In
company,
Canadian pesos.
if we go through a company, then there's overhead, and it comes to the same price anyway, shipped to your door. So
I can't justify selling a T-shirt for $50.
yeah,
It's a $20 shirt for me to have made. So it's probably a $10 shirt for that guy.
yeah,
But then the person getting that shirt is going to pay 50 Canadian dollars.
which is ridiculous. So until we can figure that out without robbing people, I mean, we got a couple made locally, which are awesome.
For ourselves.
Yeah.
Friends,
And
family, and whatever.
But
Because we can actually hand them the shirt for $20.
So that's going to be something that we can hopefully work through in the next year. Water wheelie, merch,
Yeah.
working on getting the team bigger.
What we might do really though is like have these shirts and have them at events. Because a good chunk of you guys watching that can come out to our club events, like our big weekend events and stuff like that. Because then we can actually just sell the shirts for what we got them for in person. We don't have to ship them. So if you're already willing to ride with us or come out and see us, like we can do it that way, given enough interest. But I mean,
Yeah,
1 year on YouTube.
that's crazy. What's your favorite ride?
My favorite ride was Tom's Lookout with Valley Adventure Tours. Yeah, because we went out to the top of like this, well, it's a lookout. They call it Tom's Lookout. And you get to the top and you can just see like all of Madawaska Valley, like a good chunk of Renfrew County where we are.
I got to bring my mom, because we can't bring my mom on the, well, I'm sure we could, but I mean, I don't think she'd be in for that. But having the opportunity to bring her in the side-by-side was a really cool moment spent with her, so that was cool.
What was your favorite ride?
Probably on the 350 Honda.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like 2 minutes from our house on a borrowed 350 Honda.
Yeah, but that's the day I like really got bit by
The bug.
the bug. Yeah, and the mud was good. The mud was glorious that day. It was hot though.
That's going to be the first spot I go this spring.
Oh yeah,
when
I'm
spring
waiting.
happens.
Yeah, that one or when we had the dirt bike with us. I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, Tom.
That was the first time I hit that jump, and Tom thought he got it on camera, and we were all celebrating.
Yeah.
And turns out
We were all
died.
mudding, and he's on his dirt bike, like doing this sideways catwalk thing. Like it was really weird seeing a dirt bike, not like riding in the dirt. Obviously, that's what they do, but mudding. And I'm talking like real mud.
It got stuck standing up.
It was like
and
a
he
lawn
got
dart.
off.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
That was. It was just weird to watch because none of the rules apply to ATVing to bring a dirt bike. Like you don't do what you would do on an ATV with a dirt bike. So it was just weird to watch, and I wanted to help him. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But he made it. He just got stuck that one time, but after we lifted him out, he darted off, and that thing threw chunks at my face like crazy.
One thing I'd like to do more is bring Diesel out with us. Now that we've done all the club rides, we know which ones he'll be able to handle, which ones are dog friendly. So I'd like to see that coming up. I don't know if we'll be able to or not.
We actually have a dog box for the
Yeah.
back of my quad that the dog can sit in comfortably, and we lined it all, and he's protected, and he can't fall out of it or anything. And he loved it. He just fell asleep.
Yeah, he really loves it. But the bracket broke, so we have to fix that. But yeah, I'd like to see that used a bit more this year.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. Lots to look forward to, lots to look back on. We don't take you guys for granted for a second. We talk about it all the time. We have amazing viewers. We have amazing dynamics. Like the Instagram dynamics different than the Facebook, than the YouTube. The comments we get are mostly positive. I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were gonna be faced with a lot more criticism or negativity, which is a very easy thing to be faced with online these days. And I'm at a loss for words for how we've been treated. And for, the first time Kyle uploaded footage of me, which wasn't painting me in the best light, the wedgie pick at Opyoung, B101 or bust.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm editing this video. I have to tell this story. I'm editing this video, and it's Cass and I, we're riding, and it's a club event, and we're like, oh, yeah, cool. And then there's the end of this shot where she puts... Oh no, I put my helmet down on my bike.
I had no idea.
She was riding on the back seat of this bike, and she got off, and nobody was looking, but my camera was pointed right at her, and she's just digging in for a wedgie. I totally left it on, but I'm not gonna link that one. You have to find out which one that is.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and go find it, but it is online. So Cass's wedgie was picked on a video.
Yeah.
I died laughing editing.
Because he only found out editing, and he uploaded it before I saw it, so we're watching it in bed, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh.
Cass always leaves me these moments that
he can work with.
Yeah. She just does the silliest things.
But that's what I'm in love with, the concept that we could just be us. Like, nothing's rehearsed, nothing. Like, this is staged, but it's not rehearsed.
Yeah, I put a chair here, but...
Yeah, just so you guys have something to look at.
We have ideas written down. We just wanted to talk about... This is the first time we actually wrote stuff down on a whiteboard just to make sure that we're covering some of the subjects of an entire year. But normally we just boop, and whatever happens.
Oh shit! Yeah. Speaking of which, but no, it's cool to be faced with such positive reviews of ourselves, our characters, and
we get some negative ones.
Yeah, but ultimately we've had a lot of positive feedback, so we don't take this lightly, and we definitely don't take it for granted. That we place a lot of trust in the internet. And we throw ourselves out there, and to be faced with all the positivity and the positive feedback that we've been getting is awesome, and it means something to us. So we don't take that lightly, and that's...
I wonder how long this video is at this point.
I don't know. It'll be up to you to shorten it.
I don't think I will shorten it. We talked about all the things that people ask us all the time, so I should just leave them here and put time codes.
Yeah, exactly.
Just send people time codes now.
Exactly. So, no, that's great. If you...
Yeah, so down below, let us know what you think you want to see for a whole other year. And the last thing that I wanted to do was, we're sitting at 1 year right now. we would have never guessed where we would be right now. But what I want to do, and I think is really fun, is guess where we will be at the 2nd year mark. So we can go back on the 2nd year video and look at this and laugh at our guesses because they were horrible. So on YouTube, how many subscribers, views, and how many videos do you think we're going to have?
Subscribers a year from now. We're at 45. I want to say 7,000?
Subscribers?
Yeah.
Okay, 7,000.
Or 8 or 9. I mean, that's up to you guys, really.
No.
7. 7?
Okay, 7 flat.
Okay.
You're really shooting low, but okay, all right.
10? 20?
Your faith is... No, you said 7. It's too late. How many views do you think we're going to
7.
have? We have 615,000 right now.
Views.
Yeah.
615.
Yeah.
If you do another plow video...
yeah, oddly enough, my best video.
All this hard effort, different angles, different rides. We're
it ended up being
driving
a
hours to
stupid
go.
plow video.
Plow video while he has a man cold.
Yeah.
Like, just
other YouTubers are like calling me and they're like, really? And I'm like, I don't. It's the internet.
shit. Okay, so 615. Let's just double it. 120. I don't know. That's safe.
1,200,030 or 230,000.
1 million, just because it's random.
1 million.
We could celebrate.
I think you're really shooting low here.
I don't know.
But okay, how many videos do you think we're gonna have at the end?
Oh, easily 200.
200 flat?
I'm just doubling everything.
200 flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have 11,500 subscribers.
That's specific. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just it's my gut. It's my
Okay.
gut. Gotta trust my gut.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have 2.2 million views.
Jesus.
I'm shooting for the
Make
stars.
it happen, guys.
I can't wait to be let down on year 2. 2.2 million views, and we're gonna have 194 videos.
That's weird.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the numbers that came to mind. Those are my guesses.
Okay.
So we're gonna leave that little tidbit, and hopefully, if we still exist a year from now, we
What's
get to.
on the table, though?
What's on the table? You want to make a bet?
Yeah.
Okay. If you win, I'll give you a back rub and a dinner of your choice.
And you try on the T-Rex costume on camera.
No.
What do you think, guys? Let's
No.
see it in the comments.
Don't
Yeah,
worry-
let's
don't
make
worry
it
about
happen.
that. It's
you
just a
have to
T-Rex
respond with
costume.
the
It's boring.
The internet decides. You know what? The internet decides.
It's a year from now.
Yes.
No, it's gonna
Vote.
be our own bet.
I like the
No,
T-Rex.
I'm
idea.
offering you. This is my bet. I'm offering you a back massage and a meal of your choosing. However, it's done whenever you want.
Okay.
What are you offering me if I'm closer?
A back massage, and you get to wear my T-Rex costume.
No. I want one.
Careful. Careful.
One argument freebie. When I buy a mod, you just have to go. Okay.
I did that like 20 times already.
No, not really.
No. Okay.
One complete freebie.
Yeah, you just used it, I think.
No.
Okay, one argument freebie.
Yep.
Yes.
Where you just have to go. Okay.
It's on camera.
You heard it here, internet. A year from now, the battle will go down.
Cool.
I think we should probably end this.
Yeah. Da 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 da.
Quit doing the intros with your voice. That's 1 year on YouTube with Mainville ATV and Outdoors.
Thanks for watching.